Tiger Tales.
Tiger Tales presents Finding Winnie, the true story of the world's most famous bear by Lindsay Mattick, read by Mrs. Griffith.
Welcome back. This is called Finding Winnie, the true story of the world's most famous bear by Lindsay Mattick. Anybody guessing what the famous bear is yet? Could you tell me a story? Asked Cole. It's awfully late. It was long past dark and time to be asleep. What kind of story? You know, a true story. One about a bear. We cuddled up close. I'll try to do my best, I said. Hopefully you can see all the picture. There we go. A very long time ago, about 100 years before you were born, there was a veterinarian who lived in Winnipeg. His name was Harry Colburn. A vegetarian? Said Cole. Bear doesn't like vegetables. A veterinarian. It means an animal doctor. I know that, Cole said. That's what I'm going to be, maybe, when I get big. If a horse has the hiccups or a cow had a cough, Harry knew how to make them feel just right. Harry's hands were never cold, even in Winnipeg, where winters were so frosty that icicles grow on the inside of your nose. That was just the kind of doctor he was. But one day when Harry had to say goodbye to Winnipeg, there was a war far, far away, beyond the end of the country and on the other side of the ocean, and he was going to help. He would be caring for the soldiers' horses. Harry rode east on a train full of other soldiers. He leaned his head against the window, watching the land scroll by, wondering what it would be to be like so far away from home. And there he is in the window. The train rolled right through dinner and over the sunset and around 10 o'clock and into a nap and out the next day, until it stopped at a place called White River. Harry decided to stretch his legs. On the train platform was a man on a bench with a baby. A baby? Said Cole, annoyed. A baby bear, a cub. Harry stopped. It's not every day that you see a bear cub at a train station. That bear has lost its mother, he thought, and that man must be the trapper who got her. What do trappers do? Asked Cole. It's what trappers don't do. They don't raise bears. Raise them? You know, I said, love them. And there's the baby bear. I really like these little pictures of Mom telling the boy the story. Harry thought for a long time. Then he said to himself, is there something special about that bear? He felt the inside of his pocket and said, I shouldn't. He paced back and forth and said, I can't. Then his heart made up his mind, and he walked up to the trapper and said, I'll give you $20 for the bear. Is $20 a lot? Asked Cole. Back then, I said, even more than a lot. Captain Colburn, said the colonel on the train as the little bear sniffed at his knees. We are on a journey of 1,000 miles, heading into the thick of battle, and you propose to bring this most dangerous creature? Bear stood straight up on her hind legs as if to salute the colonel. The colonel stopped speaking at once, and then, in quite a different voice, he said, Oh, hello. The men of Harry's regiment squeezed by to have a look. I've decided to name her Winnipeg, Harry told them. So we'll never be far from home. Winnie, for short. Have you figured out the bear yet? I bet you've all heard the story of Winnie. They had a very long way to travel, and they had already gone 3 or 4 feet when Winnie grew hungry. What do bears eat? The men wondered. What don't they eat? Said Harry. Vegetables, Cole reminded me. Winnie ate vegetables, I said. She ate everything except onions. They brought her carrots and potatoes and apples and tomatoes and eggs and beans and bread and a tin of fish and some slop in a dish. But Winnie was still hungry. How about dessert? Said Harry, holding up a bottle of condensed milk. Taking the treat in her paws, Winnie lay on her back and hummed a happy song as she drank. The men roared. Look at what the men are doing and see if roared makes the same as the bear. See how they're laughing? They're laughing really hard. Harry and Winnie gathered with soldiers from all over Canada in the green fields of Valcarter. The whole city of tents had sprung up there. One was a hospital for horses where Harry went to work. Winnie was in the army now. Harry taught her to stand up straight and hold her head high and turn this way and that, just so. Soon she was assigned her own post. Even the colonel agreed that Winnie was a remarkable bear. She might have been the best navigator in the whole army. If you hit something, could she find it? She could. What if it was further away and still farther? Remarkable, he cried. You can see Winnie's trail. If you look very careful, you see her trail of where she's looking. And there's where she stopped. In the evenings, both of them were too tired to move. When Harry thought about Winnie and the voyage across the ocean, his head said, I shouldn't. His head said, I can't. But his heart made up his mind. Look at, there's Winnie in like a little den underneath him. Nobody had ever tried to float so many people and animals across the Atlantic Ocean before. 30 ships sailed together, carrying about 36,000 men and about 7,500 horses and about one bear named Winnie. Do you all see Winnie? There she is. I'll get close so you can see her a little better. When they finally arrived in England, the regiment went to training on the Salisbury Plain, where it rained and rained and rained. But Winnie didn't seem to mind. She was the mascot of the 2nd Canadian Infantry Brigade, and she attended her post with vigor. One day, Harry came running while she was doing her exercises in the tent. You'll bring the whole place down, he said with a laugh. She had grown. And there's Winnie in the tent. It was winter when the order came. The time had come to fight. Winnie posed proudly with the men for pictures to send home to their families. Harry thought for a long time. His head argued one way and then the other, but his heart made up his mind. He went to Winnie and said in a serious way, There's somewhere we need to go. Winnie brushed the mud off her nose and nuzzled in close. There she is posing for pictures, and there she is nuzzling with him. Harry drove all the way to the big city. This place right here, these rocks are called Stonehenge, and that's really in England. Here we are, said Harry, the London Zoo. Harry took a deep breath. Winnie, this is going to be your home for a while, he said. She tilted her head. We're shipping out to France, he explained. I have to take care of the horses at the front. She rested her big head against him. I know you want to come, but it's not safe. Winnie's head bowed. Harry's hands were warm as sunshine as usual. There is something you must always remember, Harry said. It's the most important thing, really. Even if we're apart, I'll always love you. You'll always be my bear. And there they're at the zoo. Is that the end? That's the end of Harry and Winnie's story, I said. But I don't want it to be over, said Cole. Sometimes, I said, you have to let one story end so the next one can begin. How do you know when that'll happen? You don't, I said, which is why you always carry on. And here's the zoo. And you see Mom and Cole. Let's see if we can find where Winnie is. And there's Winnie. Right there. Once upon a time, there was a boy with a stuffed bear. He had his bear ever since he was a baby, but somehow the boy had never found the right name for him. He tried Teddy and Edward and even Big Bear. One day the boy went to visit the London Zoo with his father, and there was a bear, a real bear, on the terraces there. Right away the boy thought there was something special about that bear. Her name is Winnie. They became true friends. The boy was allowed to come right inside her enclosure to play. Once the boy had found Winnie, he knew just what to call his stuffed bear. He named it Winnie the Pooh. And the boy was called Cole, said Cole. Do you guys know what the boy's name was? His name was Christopher Robin Milne. Christopher Robin would visit Winnie at the zoo, and then he would take his stuffed animals on all sorts of adventures in the woods behind his home. His father, Alan Alexander Milne, wrote books all about them. Harry's Winnie became Winnie the Pooh, and there was never a more beloved bear. But what about Harry? Cole asked. And there's the little boy, and there's the father who wrote Winnie the Pooh. When Harry visited Winnie at the zoo, he saw how happy she was. She was being raised. She was truly loved. And that was all he had ever wanted from the moment they met on the train station in White River. So after the war, Harry returned to Winnipeg and his life as an animal doctor. Before long, he was married and had a son named Fred. And Fred had a daughter named Laureen. And Laureen had a daughter named Lindsay, which is me. And then I had a son. And when I saw you, I thought, there's something special about this boy. So I named you after your great-great-grandfather, Captain Harry Colburn. I named you Cole. And then there's the family tree. Go down, Lacey. Lacey, they can't see the book. Oh my goodness, Lacey. Everybody, this is Lacey. She's going to join us in the story, apparently. Ugh. That's me, said Cole in a whisper. That's you, and that's Winnie. Yes, I said, that's Winnie. And it's all true? Sometimes the best stories are, I said. Cole's eyes grew big, and he said nothing for a long time. Then he hugged his own bear and let his yawn that reached far, far away, and they both turned and fell asleep. This is really hard with you, Leslie. Yes, I know. You love being on screen. And this says album. So this is like the family album. Harry is a young soldier. Harry kept diaries throughout World War I. This was the diary from 1914, the first year of the war. The diary page from the day Harry found Winnie on August 24th, 1940. He wrote, bought bear, $20. And there's the diary and then the inside pages. 3 soldiers with Winnie at her post. Winnie and Harry have a laugh and a snack. Harry and his fellow soldiers with their mascot, Winnie. And there's Winnie having a snack. And there they all are together. And the first one over here is the picture of Winnie and Harry inspired the statue that now stands in Winnipeg and London. And then they're showing the statue in Winnipeg was unveiled in 1992. So there's the picture, and there's the statue. In the top picture, you're going to see this photo was taken of Winnie and Christopher Robin in 1925 at the zoo after they became friends. Christopher Robin's father, A. Milne, watches them play from above. The official animal record card shows that Winnie began her stay in the London Zoo in December 9th, 1914. So that's Christopher Robin, and that's Winnie the Pooh. Lindsay and Cole in 2013, we knew there was something special about that boy. And that's the card for when she came in, from when he joined the London Zoo. And that is the true story of Winnie the Pooh.